It was a chilly October night, and 16-year-old Emma was home alone in her family's modest suburban house. Her parents had gone out for dinner and a movie to celebrate their anniversary, leaving her in charge of the place for the first time. She relished the rare independence. A bowl of popcorn, a stack of blankets, and a lineup of horror movies on TV were all she needed for her perfect evening. The wind howled outside, and bare tree branches scraped against the windows. Around 9 p.m., just as Emma was getting into the second movie of her marathon, she heard a faint noise. It sounded like shuffling, soft but deliberate, coming from the basement. She froze. At first, she brushed it off as her mind playing tricks on her, spooked by the movie she was watching. But then it came again, a slow, methodical thump. Curiosity won out over fear. She grabbed her phone and walked cautiously toward the basement door. Her heart thudded in her chest as she flipped on the light switch. The bulb flickered, casting erratic shadows, but the noise had stopped. Mustering her courage, she opened the door and called out, "Hello? Is anyone there?" Silence. Emma sighed in relief, chalking it up to the house settling. She closed the door and returned to the couch, her unease gradually fading. But just as she settled back into her blanket, her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Why did you stop calling for me?" Her blood ran cold. She stared at the message, her hands trembling. Was this someone's idea of a sick joke? Trying to convince herself it was a prank, she texted back, "Who is this?" The reply came almost instantly. "You'll find out soon." Emma's heart raced as she locked all the doors and windows, double-checking every latch. She grabbed a kitchen knife and her phone, ready to call 911 at the slightest sign of danger. But as she peered out into the dark backyard, her phone buzzed again. "You should check the basement again." Panic surged through her. She was about to call the police when the power went out, plunging the house into darkness. Her breath came in shallow gasps as she stood frozen, straining her ears for any sound. And then she heard it, a faint creak of a floorboard from upstairs, but she had just come from upstairs. Nobody else should have been there. Emma ran into the kitchen and ducked behind the counter, clutching the knife tightly. Her phone buzzed again, the screen illuminating the text, "I'm already inside." Tears streamed down her face as she frantically dialed 911. The operator answered, and Emma whispered her address, begging for help. As she spoke, she heard slow, deliberate footsteps descending the stairs. The operator assured her that officers were on the way and told her to stay hidden. The footsteps stopped just outside the kitchen. Emma held her breath, gripping the knife so tightly her knuckles turned white. A shadow loomed on the wall, and then a voice, low and taunting, called out, come out, wherever you are." Suddenly, the wail of sirens broke the tense silence. The shadow retreated, and Emma heard the back door slam. She stayed hidden until the police arrived, bursting into the house with flashlights and weapons drawn. The officers searched the house but found no one. However, in the basement, they discovered a horrifying clue, a makeshift bedroll, empty food wrappers, and tools that suggested someone had been living down there for weeks. The police explained that it wasn't uncommon for vagrants or criminals to squat in unsuspecting homeowners' basements or attics. They assured Emma that they would increase patrols in the area, but the damage was done. Emma's sense of security was shattered. Years later, she learned the terrifying truth. The man who had been in her house that night was a fugitive wanted for multiple murders. He had been stalking her family for days, choosing that night to make his move. To this day, Emma can't watch horror movies alone, or sleep in a house without triple-checking every lock and corner.